Welcome to the phone booth on the Fool's Gallery Podcast Network. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And if you would like to support our show, go to www.patreon.com/foolsgallery. Thank you for listening. And enjoy episode 6, What I Know. Hi, you've reached Joe Pollard. Please leave your name, number, and I'll get back to you as soon as... Hello, who is this?
Joe, I'm sorry to call you so early, but this is the time I call you. My name is Cedric Appleton. I'm your next interview.
What? Who is this?
My name is Cedric Appleton. I'm your next interview.
It's 6:30 in the morning. How did you get this number?
I'll explain in a moment, but you still have to hang up on me one more time before... Okay, here we go.
Look, I appreciate the fandom, but I don't do interviews with people who just call me in the middle of the night.
Your mother's middle name is Carolyn. Your father has 4 children, but you're an only child. Your half-siblings' names are Trevor, Tommy, and Sarah. You lost your virginity at 18, but told your classmates you lost it 2 years earlier at summer camp. You felt trapped in the lie and couldn't enjoy your actual first time. You aired the Rosalind Rhea interview because, as an unpowered person, you can't afford to look weak, and it's 6:42 in the morning, not 6:30.
Who are you?
My name is Cedric Appleton. I'm your next interview.
Okay. Let me start recording this.
Don't worry about that. I've been recording since our first call.
Of course you have. Okay. Cedric, was it? What would you like to talk about?
Okay. So at 8:49 last night, I found out exactly how I'm going to die.
Excuse me?
And then a second later, I learned how my mother will die, and then how my father will die, then my dog, then you, then the president, then everyone else on Earth, then the Earth itself, then the sun, then all life in the universe.
Sounds like quite an evening.
I haven't slept much.
Okay.
And I knew other things, small things, large things, important things, things that don't matter, things like how you're reaching for that pack of Camels on your bedside table right now. I know everything. Everything that has ever been known or ever will be known, I know. You know?
How old are you, Cedric?
I'm 14.
You're malting. Jesus.
Yeah, you know, I used to be pumped for today. You finish puberty, you get powers. That was the deal. Braces off, learn to fly. All my friends got theirs months ago. Kinda sucked taking the bus when all the cool kids flew to school. My mom said I was a late bloomer. I was worried I wouldn't get powers. I was so worried. I'd wish I'd known.
Trust me, you don't want to be unpowered.
I don't know about that. I can tell you exactly how I was conceived. Like what day, what position they were in, the exact time the condom broke.
Okay, I get it. So, you know...
What are you going to say next? Yeah, but that was an easy one. Give me something hard.
Okay, what's my middle name?
Michael.
Is there life on other planets?
Like there's bacteria, but nothing interesting beyond that.
How big is the universe?
Big.
Is there a god?
Nope.
Just no.
Yep.
That's it.
You want more?
Kinda.
Well, there isn't. Sorry.
Huh, that's disappointing.
Yeah. Imagine how I feel.
Why'd you call me?
Lots of reasons, but mostly because I knew I would.
That's not an answer.
Kinda is.
So, let me get this straight. You woke up this morning knowing everything.
Yeah.
Every fact, every action, every word spoken or not spoken, every thought that has ever been or ever will be thought, you know.
Yeah.
And the first thing you did was call me.
Well, no, the first thing I did was call NASA. There's a gas leak on the space shuttle Vulcarian. It'll kill 5 astronauts if not checked.
You just called up NASA.
Yeah, I know the director's number. Then I called the Emperor of Japan on his private family line. In 2 months, Hurricane Janet will destroy the western shoreline, killing 4,821 people if they don't evacuate now.
And you just know Japanese.
You're having a hard time understanding the whole omniscient thing, huh?
It's just not something I deal with every day.
Yeah, I get that, but it'll only take a few more examples for you to understand. I then wrote a mass email to 53,449 women and 33,895 men, warning them that they are either currently in or will soon find themselves in an abusive relationship. I attached a list of people that should be avoided.
It must have taken a while to CC everyone.
Like I said, I didn't get a lot of sleep. I then made some calls to most of the intelligence agencies around the world. It's crazy how many murderers are never caught.
And you think they'll just believe you?
I know they will.
Why would they?
Well, for starters, they'll listen to this podcast.
You seem pretty sure I'm going to air this.
Yeah, I am. You'll struggle with the decision, but in the end, you'll air it. I am sorry about that.
Sorry about what?
This interview is gonna cause you a lot of heartache.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm sure I've seen worse.
I know you have.
So, this heartache, where does it come from?
Well, having an all-knowing seer give pointed prophecies on a podcast is bound to freak some people out. I'm gonna say things that change the world, change how we see it, how we react to it. I'm gonna say things that cause a group of very powerful people to have a really bad day. They will, react poorly and try to shut you up, to discredit me, and they will succeed. Mostly. They are very good at their jobs. I'm putting your life in danger with this phone call, but when I tell you everything, you'll be glad I did.
I will, huh?
Yes, you will.
Right. So after NASA and the Emperor of Japan, you called me.
Yep. I did some other things, warned some other people, but we only have 10 more minutes until this conversation is over, and I want to get everything in.
So, why'd you call me, Cedric?
I wanted to tell you about my day.
Your day?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about your day.
So, about a minute before I hang up this phone, my mother will yell at me to wake up and come down for breakfast. She'll be halfway through making omelets and isn't happy. She hasn't been for a long time. She feels alone in her own house. A feeling she shares with my father. He'll be lying in bed when she calls. Every morning, he pretends to be asleep until she leaves the bedroom. After she's gone, he'll lie there on their bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about how he came to be lying on that bed and staring at that ceiling. I know my parents both used to be happy, but then they married each other. Damn.
I'm sorry. You're not worried about them hearing this?
No, there's only a few paths forward where they don't get a divorce. It will be hard and sad, but listening to this podcast will help.
Why?
I don't really have to tell you that.
Why are you telling me this at all?
'Cause you need to know.
That's all I'm getting?
That's all you're getting.
You're kind of annoying to talk to, you know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so you go down to breakfast.
Yeah, my dad will hide behind his newspaper and my mom behind the dishes. I'll sit with them as long as I can, until the very last second before the school bus arrives.
Wait. You know everything in the world and you still go to school? Why?
Because it's what I do next.
But you can choose not to, right? There's just not one path to the future you can still choose.
Yeah, I can, but I won't. I can see every choice I could possibly make today and the infinite futures that spring from those choices, but the future I choose is the one where I get on that school bus.
But why?
I still have lessons to learn.
But if you know everything, how could you learn anything new?
Because knowing and learning are not the same thing.
I don't understand.
You will.
So, you're on your way to school?
Yes. The bus will swing around the bend and stop in front of me. I'll enter the bus where all my friends who can't fly are waiting. They'll be laughing, shoving, awkwardly flirting. My friends, kids I've known my entire life but didn't know anything about until today. I can see their entire lives, their fears, their hopes, their dreams, their futures. I know who will achieve their goals and who will not. I know which ones will fall in love, which ones will die young, which ones hate me, which ones love me, and the girl who would have been the love of my life.
Would have been? She's not anymore?
No.
Why not?
Because I know her too well. I know every thought in her brain. I know every fight we'll have, every romantic moment, every spontaneous act of love, every feeling of intense pain. I can see how we begin, how we end, and every little moment in between. I know every thought she will ever have, both conscious and subconscious. I know her wedding vows.
Wait, you can't...
I know I can be hard to live with, that I ask a lot of the people I love. I know I can scream and cry and just be the absolute worst. I know I'm a bad person, or at least I thought I did. That is, until I met you, Cedric. You showed me a side of myself I didn't know was there. A side I don't hate. A side that I've learned to love almost as much as I love you. I don't know how you knew it was there, but you did. And you made me believe that that was the true me and not the monster I always thought I was. And for that, I'll love you forever. And then for a few weeks after that.
That's some speech.
Her words.
But if you know that, wouldn't you just love her now instead of then?
Have you ever been in love, Joe?
You know I have.
What made you fall in love?
You know the answer. Why are you asking?
Because you'll air this conversation and I need to make a point.
Jesus, okay. I fell in love with Nellie because every day was a new surprise. I felt like an explorer discovering some new wonder in her. Some place she'd been, how she'd seen it, the way she snorted when she laughed, the way her ears got all red when she got angry.
And you proposed because...
I had hope for the future.
Would you have proposed if you knew what the future held?
You know I wouldn't have.
When I see my future wife sitting on the bus today, I won't stop to talk to her. I won't tell her of our possible future together. I'll just keep walking because I already know how it ends. It's something I knew when I woke up this morning, but I wouldn't have truly learned until I saw her face.
What will you learn?
The meaning of life.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah. I know it. Or I will later today. I guess I know the words, but not the feeling. Does that make sense?
Not really.
Too bad. So the meaning of life, would you like to hear it?
Yeah. Hit me.
It's hope. There is no God, no divine plan, no heaven, no hell, no destiny. All there is an infinite amount of pathways that we choose to walk each and every day of our lives, and the hope that we choose the right one at the right time. Life is in the not knowing. It's in the leaps of faith you take with a stranger. It's about holding hands with someone you hope you can trust and jumping off a cliff together, hoping you'll survive the landing.
And you...
I'll never know that feeling again. I'll never know what it's like to put my trust in someone. I'll never know what it's like to take a leap of faith. I'll never know what it's like to have someone say, I love you, and believe them without knowing that some small part of them never will. I'll never know what it's like to hope again, Joe.
You said you know how today will end.
Yes.
You said you know how you're going to die.
Yes.
You're going to die today, aren't you?
I've enjoyed our conversation, Joe, but it's time for me to get off the phone now.
No. Cedric, wait. Listen to me. You don't have to do this. I know it seems dark right now, but it will...
It will get better. We both know it won't.
But...
Please, Joe, there's nothing you can say, but I still have one more thing for you. It's the real reason I called.
Cedric?
Joe, listen to me. You're going to find her.
What?
Becca Orlovsky. You're going to find her.
I don't understand. She's dead.
No, she isn't.
Cedric! Greg, get down here. I made omelets.
I have to go now.
No, Cedric, don't go. Stay on the phone. Just stay on the phone. Talk to me. You don't have to go to breakfast. You don't have to get on that bus. We can just stay on the phone and talk.
No, we can't. I know you'll take responsibility for what happens next. I want you to know it's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's just the path I chose.
No, it's not, Cedric. We can fight this. We can fight this together. I bet I know something you don't know. I had a lisp when I was young. I carved my name into every tree on my block.
Goodbye, Joe.
No, Cedric, don't hang up the phone. Don't.
Cedric, get down here now.
All right. I'm coming.
I spent the rest of the day trying to track Cedric's number. But before I could find him, I got a call from the police department in Worcester, Massachusetts. I was Cedric's last phone call. They said it was an accident, but I know better. Stepping into oncoming traffic is never an accident. I waited for the words, those dark words telling me Cedric was dead. But they didn't come. Cedric is still alive. He was rushed to a hospital where his condition was stabilized. I asked when I could speak to him, and then the words came. Cedric Appleton is in a coma. The doctors believe he will never wake up. His brain is unresponsive, unable to think, unable to hear, unable to know. And if that sounds sad to you, let me remind you of one thing. Cedric Appleton thought he was going to die, and Cedric was always right. He said he would die, but he didn't. He said there was only one path forward, but there wasn't. Cedric is alive because he chose to be. He found another path. Why, you may ask? We may never know. But I like to think it was something that he knew, but couldn't have learned until that final moment. Hope. Hope changed his mind. Cedric spent his last waking hours helping people. Yesterday, the space shuttle Vulcarian launched without mishap. Winds are building off the coast of Japan, but all endangered areas have been evacuated. The hashtag #CedricSays has gone viral, with each new post telling the story of how Cedric helped them in some small way. The sheer number of postings is staggering. Thousands of abusive relationships have ended, half a dozen serial killers have been arrested, and many lost pets have been found to the delight of their owners. The Vatican has issued a proposal to make him a saint, a movement that has as many detractors as it does followers, and hundreds of thousands have congregated outside the hospital where Cedric sleeps, waiting for him to wake up. Each one is there for only one reason. Cedric gives them hope. But Cedric wasn't perfect. And he was wrong about one thing. There is someone to blame. Cedric will never wake up from his coma. His life, though not gone, was ruined. And the blame for that can be laid at the doorstep of Becca Orlovsky. From the moment she stepped into the sky, Cedric never had a chance. He wasn't even alive on B-Day, but she chose his path anyway. And Cedric isn't the first. How many lives has she ruined? How many loved ones has she taken from us? I think of Jerry Browning, the orphans at St. Mary's, Anna Klinsky, and the rest of Los Angeles. I think of the Animorphs whose humanity she stole, the flyers she pushed into space, and every other human being on this planet she has harmed. I've looked at the stats, and Becca Orlovsky is responsible for more pain, suffering, and death than anyone since Genghis Khan, and for that, we revere her like a god? No. She is nothing more than a murderer. And if what Cedric says is true, and Becca is still alive, then I'm going to find her and make her answer for all she has done to us. This has been a production of the Fool's Gallery Podcast Network. Today's episode was written and directed by Keenan Ellis, produced, recorded, mixed, and mastered by Joseph Freeman at Freeman Recordings, and starred Pablo Milla, Bridget Driscoll, and Keenan Ellis. We can't thank you enough for listening to our first season of The Phone Booth. It's been an absolute blast making it, and we can't wait to get started on Season 2. If you're dying to know what happens to Joe and Becca, please consider becoming a patron on our Patreon page. Every little bit helps us make Season 2 as quickly as possible. So check us out at patreon.com/foolsgallery, or write a quick review on whatever platform you listened on. We would also like to announce the Fool's Gallery's second podcast, The Endless Ocean, a weekly podcast which can be found wherever you listen to your podcasts. More information can be found on our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook accounts. Thank you again for listening, and we will see you for Season 2.